Hey guys, welcome to the Go Mango Anime Cast. I'm your host, Makotoa, and here with me today we have...
the Cinder Blaze.
Today we'll be reviewing Darling in the FranXX episode 9.
Oh boy.
Wow. So, this episode... I remember, I think the best way to put it is the moment when you messaged me at the very beginning of the episode that you were drowning.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much an indication that your ship is sinking, right?
Yeah. But it's not like I'm dead by the end of the episode. Like, I still like Goro as a character. I was just like really siding with like Ichigo, but like their relationship is kind of sweet. My problem with like this, and like it's also a problem with like the anime as a whole, is the shipping or like the pairing is a bit too forced with Zero Two and Hero, mostly because like they're the main characters, and like I'm okay with that. Like I can tolerate it. It's like a plot point. Stuff like that happens in Nisekoi and like basically every harem anime where there's like a main heroine or something like that. But for this one, we spent like way too much like time with like flashbacks justifying this ship, and it's like making it super strong. And I'm like, yeah, like it's fine for this like ship to be stable and like strong, but at the end of the episode, like despite how much like I'm okay with the ship, we didn't do anything this episode. Like this was a filler episode, and I don't think we should be having something like this at this time because we haven't really done much of anything recently.
All right, I can't call it a filler episode because that implies that the thing that this show is trying to drive is not what was done in the episode. And honestly, the way this show has been going for the past 4, maybe even 5 episodes has been character development. It has not been like story plot development. What plot? Honestly, we don't even have one. It's just monster of the week, slice of life, monster of the week, love triangle. That is this show right now. There's hints that this show will eventually one day become, have some kind of actual plot, and we're getting more hints about it. But honestly, by the pace that this show has gone with the actual plot development and the pace that this show has gone with the actual character development, I can't call this filler because this is not this show is not a mecha for the sake of having a sci-fi plot right now. This show is a slice of life with a love triangle, and that is the plot that is being driven. So that's the thing. This show is not what maybe we went into it expecting it to be right now, and so I can't call it a filler because at this point there's nothing to expect more than what we're doing here.
Yeah,
honestly.
Like what I'm thinking is like in a rom-com when they kind of like have like those episodes they're just kind of like goofing around and just kind of like having fun with the characters, like that's the show. Like that's what you're getting into, and it's kind of like hard for me to like to see that in this, especially with like the Klaxosaurs are trying to like take the plantation, and like they have a father who's like giving them gifts at the beginning of the episode, and we're like, what is this like mad experimentation that's taking place?
There's this weird setup stuff going on, but they have not given us anything but these hints and these crumbs every episode.
And I felt like we can have these moments, but we can also have plot at the same time, and I feel like it's nice to have like this episode just because like Ichigo is one of the more prevalent characters, and they want to make Goro like actually stand out as a character as well. Yeah. So like they did add a lot of like meaningful development to him as a character, and kind of like get his like his perspective on things. Like when he was a kid and he was like gonna give that little clip to Ichigo, and then Hiro does it first, and he's just like, I am okay with this.
He was like, I'm okay with it. No, like
in the middle of the episode, he's just like, I'm okay with this.
It's that meme where like you're in the burning fire, and he's just like, this is fine, like
exactly. Until he's underwater, and then he just like you know what? This isn't fine. Like,
Yeah.
I actually regret not telling her how I feel, and by the end of the episode, he actually does.
I'm glad that it wasn't just like that he didn't chicken out at the end. Because that would have pissed me the heck off if all this happened and then he just said, "Oh yeah, this is totally the clip that you lost," or something like that. I would have been real mad.
Like because... that was kind of insulting to like my initial ship. Because like it kind of like took like the symbol of like their bond and he just like replaced it. He's like, that's my clip on her hair now.
You said that earlier in the what was it? I don't know how you put it.
Yeah, like the second like I saw him like have the clip in his hands, like okay, he has to put it on her, so she's gonna lose it while swimming over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's exactly what happened. It was
to assert his like territory or something like that.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
But gosh, so my thoughts about this, because overall, it is good to see that he has development like this, but at the same time, I'm thinking the whole time, why hasn't this been trickled in over time more? Like it felt like he was a nothing one-dimensional character for a long time.
I'm fine with them doing that because the way like puberty hit them, it was like all of a sudden and all at once.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So like it's pretty sudden, but like they didn't realize these feelings until really recently, and like they actually do show like the steps. So I'm like, okay, despite how like they kind of shoved everything in this episode.
And you know what? That also made sense because he was like, I think I understand what it means to be in love now, or to like, that special because she's special to me. Like when he was explaining it to Hiro, which was this like very like out of nowhere like confessional type thing. It did make sense because it's so they don't have the same idea of how embarrassing it is to talk about stuff like that as much.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing this is still all new to them completely. So he's just kind of getting his words out there and coming to this conclusion and telling it to like, what's pretty much like his best friend almost type thing.
Yeah, and his rival.
Oh, yeah. But then what I didn't like, what got me, I think, is that he has these feelings and he's like, but I was okay with it. And then, even towards the end, I'm glad that he confessed, but it like he was about to give up on life, and when he was about to hit that trigger and he was having that flashback or whatever, and he's like, the only thing that I regret is that I never got to tell her. It was such a like, it almost felt not enough emotion. What I wanted to see him go through was like, as he's about to pull the freaking self-destruct mechanism, that he tears well up in his eyes and like he's like kind of gripping his face with the other hand, and he's just like, my only regret in this life is that I never got to tell her. Like it didn't hit me.
I mean, he's a more calm and collected person. So
I
that's
didn't
probably
like that.
why.
I wanted this to be a moment where like his freaking life is over. I would expect, at least at this point in his life, that he could break down. But he didn't. He felt those emotions of regret, right? But like I wanted to see more emotional like strain out of him. And he is
a bit more mature, and I'm not sure if they've like really grasped mortality.
I don't think he has any kind of idea of reality in that situation. I don't know.
Or like none of the kids do, because like the pink-haired chick like actually kind of like realized it and kind of had that breakdown. But I don't think like any of them has fully processed what like mortality means and like all that other jazz that happens. But I also don't feel like him having that kind of like emotional, breakdown wouldn't have fit, because the flashbacks and everything kind of like building up to the relationship was kind of like, it wasn't like shallow, but it was also just like, it was packed in here and it was kind of cliche. Especially like that, the one flashback when they were kids and, he's the kid who gets beat up, and then she's like the girl that helps him beat everyone else up. You know, like I've seen that way too many times, and it's just like whatever. And like there's such a disconnect from like Goro as a kid and Goro as like a teenager that you can't really like the pain doesn't translate as well as it should. But yeah,
I wanted more from him. I wanted more anything from him.
But like
he got these
like we can't really spend too much time on this without it kind of like lurking and becoming like a big drama point later on in the series. And at that point, like that's a death sentence. You can't.
I mean, it felt like he had a death flag on him. The whole episode, especially and then when he ejects the capsule, that. Oof.
I don't know. I felt like he had way too much time for there to be any threat. It's like, well, he's in there and they've already dispatched Ichigo, and she's already in his chamber. There was not really much struggle to get her in there. So that's why I didn't really feel that there was much of a threat, and why there wasn't really a death flag on him until he kind of like confessed at the end. Because like, once you actually do confess, usually you die in anime at least, because for a lot of characters that's like the end of their development.
Right,
like everything kind of builds up to their confession, and that's usually something happens in the epilogue and stuff like that. But if he does it early, then they could easily just kill him off and just like have an arc based on like they're kind of grappling with that, which he is a really easy, like he's a killable character,
easy killable, yeah.
But
is frick. But then no, at the same time it feels like, wait a minute, if they kill one of these guys off, then that means we're gonna have an odd number of one of the genders, and that's not going to work. Who are they gonna pair with after that? We don't have a fill-in character, so
they're
that means
all gonna like got tied together.
Oh no, they got a freaking like death string attached to each other as partners, aren't they? Like,
oh no, let's not go that far. That's a bit too morbid.
Unless if they're in the same mech, it makes sense if they both die. Because if the mech gets destroyed, although for whatever reason these mechs feel indestructible. Like after we saw what happened to freaking 02 and Hero when that one Klaxosaur like just pounded them for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that was incredible beating. Like the amount of force that was applied.
It looked like it should have been pancaked, right? Like
that should have one-shot them, and like them like taking it multiple times and not even getting like injured. Honestly,
that was
like the threat from the Klaxosaurus is actually really like poor. And when he kind of ejected Ichigo, I didn't really feel like she was in much danger, considering that he's perfectly fine in there. I mean, they probably would have like ran out of oxygen, and that might have killed them. But it's for the time being, it didn't really feel all too bad, and especially since if she was there, she probably could have swam out, because like that's kind of what happened. He just broke out and it's like just whooped. It's not like the Klaxosaur was showing that it would like have intentions to like chase after them and like kill him again. It's like no, if Ichigo was there, she could probably just break out. But she was also like
it was still like he wasn't even in that core center at the time that he ejected her.
Yeah.
So,
but like it makes sense for like what was happening. How'd you feel about Hero this episode? Because I mean, recently I've been hating Hero. Like ever since he's been piloting the suit, he really has no conflicts for him right now, and he's just being a generic shonen protagonist. And he's like, I gave you a present because I'm a quote nice person, or not like quote as in sarcastic, but just like insert.
That doesn't bother me as much as his feigned obliviousness to Ichigo's love. Like, I think he knows, and it pisses me off that he's ignored it.
Yeah, like he didn't really understand the kiss at first, so like that part made sense. But like now that he's like actually kind of like looking at her, and like he did like give her that side glance to blush a little bit. So I was like, what is up with that? And then like Goro was like becoming our main character for the episode. I was like, whoa. It's a bit too much that I've heard of this guy's voice, but it's like whatever. I mean, he's more interesting than Hiro right now.
Oh, we haven't commented on the moment where Twin Tails goes off on Ichigo.
Oh yeah,
which I actually really liked.
Yeah, please enlighten me because I forgot like most of it, but like she was giving like Ichigo crap.
She was giving her
a really difficult partner.
Crap because it's like, so you're supposed to be our leader, but at any random thing, and you're the one going off and doing something rash or saying something emotional, Yeah. And what about that time when Hiro, or what was it? Hiro almost died or something like that. And who had to get your butt back into order, or who had to knock some sense into you?
Yeah. So like, exactly.
Yeah, she was completely right.
Yeah, I really hope that they kind of like deal with that relatively soon. I feel like if they go couple by couple and have like a development arc for each. Well, like I will like some of those episodes. I'm not sure where they're trying to go with the series, so we'll see where it takes us. I have one more thing to say. Oh yeah, Zorome, when that argument happened, the way he kind of like was like up against the wall and kind of just like shimmied at his scene.
Yeah.
That dude's good. Like
we have seen multiple instances of his fear of her. Like when he was about to step over the tape.
Yeah, and I feel like this was I mean it's not like the Ichigo Goro relationship doesn't have it, but like it's one of those like small setup things, like their bond is kind of like reinforced by all the interactions that they've had previously. Like those two interact a lot, like it's just the small things, and like Goro has as well, but it feels like it's more like he has to go do the quote nice thing,
Yeah.
It's like they're like writing in like the script for their romance instead of like it actually kind of like developing on its own. Like that's something that usually is reserved for a main character, but to see like a side character get like this kind of treatment for their ship, I'm like, that's pretty neat. But
it wasn't my ship, dang it.
It's not like I'm against this one though. Like I still like it. It's just it felt like
you kept saying
forced. Where I'm only like I usually only forgive it when it's for the main character for plot purposes. For this one, it was just like, okay, like you really want this thing to be an actual thing, so you're just gonna introduce a buttload of, flashback
stuff.
Yeah,
well, we're getting close to we actually just passed the 20-minute mark on this one, so
the limit break.
Let's wrap it up a little. Continue
your.
You can.
I mean, I really didn't have anywhere else to go with that, but
okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think that's it for me too. I do hope that we start developing into some actual, like sci-fi, actually what they're doing, plots, development stuff. But I mean, if this is going to be what looks to be a 24 episode type show, we still have time to get into that, I guess. But hopefully soon. I think we're all growing a little bit. No, I've seen some comments where they're like, I'm really enjoying this like vanilla slice of life type stuff right now. But
yeah, but I'm also interested in the Klaxosaurs and like there's so many sci-fi things to explore.
It's about time we get some actual answers instead of all these questions that keep building every episode. So yeah, cool beans. All right. Well, guys, let us know what you thought of this episode. If you enjoyed the continued slice of life love triangle stuff, or if you're ready for some real action, comment below. Give us a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more from us each week. Discord chat in the description. And I guess we'll see you guys later next time.
See ya.